In this video, I'm going to be briefly discussing the layers that get created when you remove the background using image extract. This will take just a few seconds to remove the background, and then I'll discuss the layers that it creates. So the first thing to point out is that if you have layer phobia, if you hit this merge button, it's going to make everything a single layer image with transparency. So you're not going to be able to do as much touch-ups, but you can get rid of all the layers and make that into a single layer. You undo those steps here. If you hit merge and crop, it's going to do the same thing, but it's going to crop to the bounds of your subject. So it's going to crop off the excess transparency. All right, let me undo those again. So now let's talk about the layers. These are where you'll do manual touch-ups in Photoshop or use the touch-ups that are built into image extract. The 4 layers on the bottom that are on by default, these are the layers that you'll manually be editing in Photoshop. This layer group that's off here, you don't have to do anything in this manually, and you really don't want to. What this is here for, and it's off by default, is for this white screen fix mask areas. There is an automated system that works with these buttons that will use these layers to help you fix difficult areas in your mask. I'm really not going to, I may do a quick demo in this image at the end of it, but I'm not going to get into details in this. I've got other videos that go deep into these 2 buttons. Okay, so the first layer here is the color background layer, and what this is for is to help you see if there's areas that need to be touched up, and just help you see the extracted image on a background better. So if you just uncheck that, you see we have transparency, and as you saw when I did the merge will actually delete this color background layer. So you don't have to worry about the color background layer being there, or you don't have to worry about deleting it. As soon as you merge it, that will be gone. But as you can see, there's some areas in this hair that need touched up. There's little white spots, and I purposely chose this image for this demonstration because I wanted to show you an example of how you can maybe miss areas that need touched up if you're just looking at it against the checkerboard. And you can see those areas a lot easier if there's a background color. Now, if you had white against it, you would not be able to tell the difference between the white that's in the color background layer or white that is left over. And image extract, by the way, all of this is really tuned to white screen, although you can use it for other types of images. It was really designed around lasto light as being the main source for the images. So if you view this against a darker color, you can see that now those white areas stand out a lot more. Okay, and now the next layer up, the layer called image extract, this is your original image. If I disable the layer mask and uncheck the layers above it, this is the original image that is untouched. And so this is a non-destructive layer set, meaning that you have all of the original information left in the image, and you can change the transparency by using the layer mask, and any spill correction that's applied is in layers above that. So you have full control of everything. So let me just enable the mask here and just demonstrate here. I'm not going to actually do any touch-up, but just to show you, if you paint in that mask with white or black, you can add areas or remove areas manually in your mask itself. And you don't have to use a paintbrush. You can use any of the Photoshop tools, the select and mask, dodge and burn. There's just a number of things you can do. So let me undo that. The next layer above this is the color fix layer. And this is kind of like spill correction in a way, but it's more tuned for what a lasto light white screen would be, or would need, that is. If I uncheck this, you can see there's a white glow to the hair. And if I check this on, you can see that that just helps tone that down or brings the original color back. And then you could paint this on or off as needed. So there's a mask here. If it affected areas you didn't want affected, you could go in. And I'm painting in the mask. I'm removing the spill correction from that area. You also can go in and change the opacity of this. So you can change how much of an effect you have. The layer above that is color fix. Let me I don't think I have a really good area in this image to really demonstrate this. I'm just going to demonstrate it here and just show you what it does, although there's nothing that really needs fixed. But what you can do is you can set the color, the foreground color, to an area you want to paint, and then you can just paint in here. Let me turn this up to 100% opacity, and you see now I'm painting gray because that's my foreground color into here. So you can use this to manually fix color in your image. So if I select the color, I'm hitting the Alt key, by the way, or that's option on Mac, but I'm setting the foreground color. So you see now I'm painting on the shirt, and I'm making the shirt the same color as this hair. So this is just used if you need to manually fix some color spill issues in your image. The next layer above that is your original image, and this is off by default. And this is there in case you need to view your original to compare it to your extraction. You can also use this for touch-ups. You could put a mask, like if I Alt-click or Option-click on Mac, I'm putting a mask that's pure black to where this is all transparent. And then I could go in with a paintbrush in here and just manually paint things on if I want to. Now with this, you're not going to be able to paint areas off, only paint areas on with the way this layer is above the other layers. And the final thing here is this layer group that says white screen touch-up. Again, you'll do nothing manually with this. This works with these two buttons, and I've got another video that dives a lot deeper into here, but just to show you here what it's going to do. This define touch-up area, and this is really meant for objects and other things that the select subject did not do good with initially in the extraction. You can manually bring those back in. So I'm just going to grab a paintbrush here. Doesn't even matter what color it is. Let's just grab something bright that can be seen here. So you define an area that you want to fix the mask. I'm going to hit replace area. This is going to give us, now this is not how I would adjust the image. I'm just going to do this to make it very apparent what it's doing. So I'm adjusting the mask with the levels here. Then when I hit apply, it's taking that adjustment I made and replacing it into the mask. So you can see that this area takes the adjustment that I just made and applies that to the original layer. And as mentioned, this is not how I would adjust this, but just so you can visually see kind of what it's doing. There's two buttons here, a replace area and an add area. Not even going to discuss the differences there. Just make sure you watch the video on these, because there's a lot of applications for these and a lot of complex things you can fix with these two buttons a lot more easily than you could by hand going into your mask. So anyway, I hope that just gives you a basic overview of the layers. And again, this was not an in-depth tutorial on any specific touch-up techniques, but hopefully you understand what the layers are for, and then watch the other videos so you can see more in-depth instructions for the different techniques of how you'll use the layers. Thanks for watching.